Howdy everyone, and welcome to Exhaustion Levels. I am Sean Sasser, your Game Master, and this is our introductory episode, or Session 0, to our new game, Cindergloam Sagas. So what is Cindergloam Sagas? It is a serialized detective drama that blends elements of classic fantasy with the high contrast and grit of film noir. Picture an alternate version of Southern California in the first half of the 20th century, with all the arcana, magic, and fey whimsy of a classic D&D campaign. Now, I'm excited to describe the world in more detail, but before we go any further, we should introduce the lovely people who will be bringing it all to life. Joining us is our main cast of Cindergloam, Ellie, Michael, and Tony. How's everybody doing today?
Doing all right.
Fantastic.
Excited to be here.
Wonderful, yeah. That's just enough cheese in there where I actually believe it. Awesome.
Try and just toe that line, you know?
Well, it's a good line to toe, yeah. Just enough canned in there, yeah. Our cast will be joined throughout the campaign by different guest stars as they solve the myriad of murders and mysteries that will unfold. And we will dive into their characters shortly. But without further ado, I am excited to welcome everyone to the world of Nimmerune. Nimmerune is a place where industry and magic intersect. Consisting of 5 distinct regions that are perpetually animated in a certain time of day, jumping between the darkness of midnight and the fresh light of morning is merely a train ride away. There is Everloom, where the soft light of a new day always shines, and the inviting atmosphere of morning is always welcoming. Brighttide, the largest region where the warmth of midday allows for bountiful crops and booming industry. Gildore, where it is always the golden hour, and the rich and beautiful flaunt their endless vanity. Cindergloam, our namesake region, which is in perpetual twilight, flows with entertainment and nightlife for those not ready to stop enjoying themselves. And Slate, a land shrouded in the darkness of midnight, where those trying to escape the bright lights and prying eyes of their surrounding regions can go to rest or conspire. These 5 regions work in harmony, or at least attempt to, as they move forward in the second age of their arcano-industrial revolution. One unified world, one centralized government, all ruling different lands. What could go wrong? And just like the real world, as we moved into the modern age, Nimmerune finds itself in a time of abundance, at least in some ways. Centralized agriculture makes it easy to feed the masses. Rail systems and other means of transportation have made getting around faster and easier. And jobs overall are more plentiful. And as such, the time between work and sleep is often more indulgent than it was before. From theaters to clubs to wellness retreats, the means for individuals to unwind are easily accessible. On the surface, the world has never been more ripe for the residents of Nimmerune. But the distance between ripe and rotten gets shorter with every harvest. The centralized government and its police force can only manage so much, leaving room for corruption to fester and injustice to thrive. And that, my friends, is where our group of gumshoes come in. Is everyone ready for me to stop rambling and you guys introduce all your characters?
Yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
I guess.
Cool. I'd love to shut the fuck up if possible. So,
Let's make it happen.
awesome. So, cool. Who wants to go first with describing themselves?
Oh, I'm ready.
I love it. Beautiful. Cool. So, Michael, who are you playing today? Or in our game?
Well, in this game, I am Howie Salazar LaVey, a human warlock with a archfey patron, standing at a really statuesque 5 foot 5 inches tall.
Oh.
Emaciated. Life has not been kind to Howie. Unruly mop of untamed black hair, usually sitting under a signature purple trilby. The clothes are a little beat up. The tie and the collar are always a bit loose. The world doesn't necessarily tread upon Howie as Howie tries to thread and navigate his way through the ins and outs that we find in Nimmerune.
Awesome. Cool. So how did Howie become a detective?
Howie's journey actually started by having a rather famous detective for a father. Unfortunately, his father was never at home. He never actually got to know his dad, but he knew that he was good and he was a hot guy up in Ghidorah. Unfortunately for Howard, when he turned to his majority, there was a drunken bar fight and he ended up doing a bad thing. In defense of his father's reputation, he killed a guy. Wasn't intentional, wasn't meant to, and he got sentenced to hard labor. But thankfully, through the rehabilitation system and some help there from a few others, he got picked up and got an internship essentially as a private investigator with Hemlock and Hardcastle.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So a chance to maybe redeem the family name and the legacy that was already there, untarnished, and
I love
try to
that.
make right.
Yeah. Okay. So Warlock. Why did you choose Warlock for Howie, or is that something that we'll find out later on?
I mean, I think for one, as a player, it's interesting. It's a class that I haven't really spent a whole lot of time playing, and I feel like there's a lot to explore there, especially in the 2024 rule set. I think that there's a lot of abilities that he can bring to the table and a lot of versatility there. It is a charisma-based class, so that means being able to utilize that, kind of leverage that as a player and as a character in the world, I thought was really interesting. Like, it'd be fun to play.
That is a good thing to have. Charisma in being a detective and having to manage a lot of relationships, I'm sure, is going to be beneficial for you, probably at least.
I hope so. That's the idea anyway.
Or I could just fuck with you. I don't know yet.
It's possible. It's a departure from my usual type. And so I'm looking forward to the challenge and also seeing exactly what type of utility and flexibility and skills you can bring to the table with the Warlock class. I thought that was fitting to go with an Archfey patron because we are in a kind of a Feywild-esque inspired world. And so trying to establish what is that relationship with my patron and how does that actually drive Howie and how he does, what his motivations are, and kind of what keeps him going as well.
Okay. No, I'm excited to explore your relationship with your patron, whoever they are, and I think we'll find that out as gameplay unfolds. Very cool. Yeah, I think so younger guy just hitting maturity, got into a bar fight accidentally. Yeah, tale as old as time. And yes, in the Maroon and in the system that is of the centralized government of the Council of 11, instead of having big jails and everything, there's always need for labor. And so, be it in the farms or the mines, if you commit some type of crime that's not so heinous it's unforgivable, the labor system is where you'll end up going and kind of working off your penance to the state. And that sounds like what Howie did.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a time for reflection and a time to build himself up as a human in this world, but then also his own character and thinking about that family legacy and like what that really means.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. No, I mean, that sounds like that leads to a lot of interesting relationships that you might have with the denizens of Nimmerune and its 5 districts. And cool. No, I'm really intrigued to see. And so how long have you been a detective for?
Detectiving now, solo, it's only been a couple years.
Okay, so you're still relatively new at the going it by yourself.
Yeah, I was in being mentored. It was a good run. It was about 3 years of mentorship, and then an unfortunate end met my benefactor. And with the passing of Hardcastle, the firm was bequeathed to me. So I am now the sole operator of Hemlock and Hardcastle.
Okay, wow, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, at such a young age too. So trying to keep that imposter syndrome down, but then also trying to make sure that you think you know you're doing the right thing, but sometimes you have a little bit of that self-doubt creeping in. So working through that to ensure that, I am a good private investigator, but I'm also doing what's right, what's just, finding out the truth.
Yeah, I think, the trope of the world-weary detective in film noir, that world weariness can come from so many different avenues as explored through all the films and as we'll explore in our game. And so I'm really intrigued to see what how that plays out and how you kind of take a relatively rough younger life that kind of thrust you into the detective world. I'm interested to see how that kind of manifests in Howie. So that's gonna be fun, I think, for us to watch.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. How about Tony or Ellie? Who wants to go next?
I'll take it real quick.
Okay. Tony, go for it.
So I will be playing as Jack Granite.
Okay.
I am a Gloomstalker Ranger, half human, half drow, so
Okay.
human variant.
Yeah.
My character was born in Gildor to a single mother that ended up fleeing her family and landed down in Slate, the place where people can just hide and get away
Sure.
when they need to. She tragically died when Jack was very young.
Okay.
So he ended up growing up on the streets as an urchin. And as what happens with most kids like that, they fall into, the wrong crowd.
Sure.
Started with petty crime and then was working his way up into a proper gangster. And he had what's the way to phrase it? Like an initiation ritual that kind of went awry.
Okay.
And it led him to either being forced onto one of the labor camps, specifically the mines, since
Yep.
he was in Slate, or being given the option to join the police academy. So, it was either the mines or the academy. One had hot food, the other was the mines.
Sure.
So,
yeah.
Made the easy choice.
It's nice to be above ground.
Yeah, seeing the sky is really cool.
Yeah, no, especially, I mean, as a half drow, I guess there's a little bit of inside of you that, enjoys the underdark.
Part of me does yearn for the mines, but,
like all children do.
Right.
Very cool.
There was better upwards mobility through the academy, so.
Okay. Now, how did you become a detective?
So I excelled in the academy.
Okay.
And just showed that I had a very keen eye, very detail-oriented, also fantastic problem-solving skills that made me a shoo-in for a detective as opposed to just a regular beat cop.
Cool.
Through yet another tragedy, I lost my first partner, and my performance on the force just plummeted.
Yeah.
So I kind of washed out at that point. And then, a friend of a friend who was a PI brought me into his firm. And that's how I got my start as a private detective.
Very cool. Now, why Gloomstalker Ranger besides the obvious kind of melancholy, a little dramatic, sad boy kind of routine?
I just really liked some of the spells that I get access to.
Sure.
Like there's, a little bit of a druid flavor in there. And I've always played, a martial main. So I wanted something that, could handle itself in a limited capacity in combat, but also give me access to some more utilitarian stuff that I think will be really fun for this campaign.
And as a detective, a private eye, working in the shadows can be part of the job. So the gloom part of the Gloomstalker definitely can be a benefit for you.
Yeah. Also, I get some, really cool sneaky things like, I can disguise myself, do invisibility. Also, I get like, what's up?
Oh, sorry. Always good to have those things when you're sneaking around.
Right. Yeah, they definitely play in.
Yeah. Very cool. Awesome. No, I love everything about that. It's different type of tragic backstory than what Howie sounds like. Similar in that there's definitely been some death in your life, but different enough where you a different path to becoming a detective.
Yeah, different sides of a very similar coin.
Sure. Awesome. No, that's going to be a lot of fun. Well, last but not least, Ellie, would you please describe your character?
So I am playing a halfling artificer.
Oh.
Really excited about that. Her name is Surrey Meadowood.
Okay.
And yeah, she is an interesting foil, I think, to the other characters in that she's yet to face the worst that the world has to offer. She's still young and bright-eyed, not fully ignorant to the world, but still has probably a bit more faith in the system than is warranted. Raised on a farm in Bright Tide. She was introduced to hard work as a virtue at a very young age, and probably also sheltered a little bit from the darker side of the people that she was working alongside.
Sure, yeah.
So she's adventurous and she's curious and she's bright and that kind of tinkering sort of mentality of how can I break this and also fix it and what does it mean and how does it work? And then she has an older brother who she absolutely adores, also adventurous and bright-eyed from her perception of him. And he's a police officer. So that is what she wanted from the get-go. She's known her entire life that she's going to grow up to be a police officer. And when she hit 18 and applied, she was unfortunately rejected because she is hard of hearing. So something to note about Surrey is she has an implanted hearing aid behind her left ear. It's a little bit of a mix of tech and a mix of magic and definitely an impact on how and why she's fascinated by that blend of arcane and technology.
Sure, yeah. Arcanotech is a big thing in Nimmerune as the second Arcano-Industrial Revolution kind of happens, and a lot of more mechanized ways of life or implements are being put into use.
Yes. So yeah, she is, when it didn't work out with the police, she was quite crushed and her brother pulled a few strings to get her in with a private detective.
So are you not a private detective yourself?
I am not. It depends on when you ask her, I think. Surrey very much wants to be a private detective. She is currently an office manager for the Cindergloam office of the famous and infamous Farian Harel, who is probably the most famous private detective of the time.
Sure.
And she's been kind of really chomping at the bit to get her hands on a mystery, to kind of get past the paperwork, to get past the kind of secretary-esque commitments she's been working for him, but she's been kind of showing herself here and there with the little things that she's been able to do. So we're going to get to see her dive into the world of being a private detective or acting as a private detective.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll see how she handles that level of responsibility and real life.
Sure. Yeah. The inexperience and almost naivete, I agree, is a great foil compared to two already established, already world weary and exhausted and kind of cynical detectives that we have in Jack and Howie. So Suri, the farm she grew up on, was also part of the penal system where that was so in Nimmerune, if you're sent for labor, depending on the severity of the crime, you could either go to a state-run labor camp, or you can go what is called a family company. And so the family companies are some of the larger not corporations, but larger companies that are farms in this instance, where it's a large, well-to-do family. Cerise's definitely, she's not bad off in terms of her upbringing and the monetary aspect of life. So yeah, I'm having grown up with the convicts, so to speak, who are living on your farm and working with, because it is your farm. Yeah, I'm sure that also gave you a interesting sense of what justice is.
Yeah, and I think between Suri's parents wanting to protect her, but also they really did work to make sure their kids were grounded in a sort of way. And while that helped, I think in a lot of ways, like Suri's not full of herself. She doesn't think of herself as wealthy or, well-to-do or anything else, but it gives her a disadvantage because she also doesn't fully understand her privilege. She doesn't understand that she's wealthy, that this is not the same upbringing that everyone else had.
Sure.
And she also has a full hard-headed idea that the system works. Everybody was so nice to me on the farm.
Yeah.
Wonder why. But Suri doesn't necessarily fully put that together or fully understand what this might look like from other people's perspectives. And it's not because she's dumb. It's just because she hasn't really lived that side of it yet or seen that side of it yet.
Sure. Well, I'm sure we will be putting her in some circumstances that she may be in different ways prepared for, in other ways maybe not.
Yeah, I'm sure that there's no trauma awaiting this bright-eyed and bushy-tailed little halfling in a noir setting.
I would never. No. Well, cool. Yeah, I think this is going to be... The characters that you guys have put together are incredibly interesting, and the dynamic of the three of you kind of exploring these cases is going to be really, really fun to see how it naturally unfolds. And as I kind of said before, as we come to different cases or different places in the world, we'll be bringing in friends and guests to play different other characters that you'll be able to interact with. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun doing Cindergloam Sagas and kind of exploring the world of fantasy noir. Cool. Well, I think that's as good of a place as any to wrap up our session 0. You can check us out at Exhaustion Levels on social media, and our Patreon, patreon.com/exhaustion levels. After this comes out, there will be an episode every Tuesday, and then a Patreon recap for Patreon subscribers the following Monday. Anything you guys want to say before we head off?
No, just excited to be here and hanging out with these cool cats.
Cool. Well, I can't put into words how excited I am about this. So,
dude, same.
It's gonna be fun.
I'm so excited.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be a fun story.
It really is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cool. Well,
it's gonna be noiry.
It will be noiry for sure. A little gritty. Yeah. Hells yeah. Cool. So I guess we'll call it there. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening, and we will catch you later. Bye, everyone.
See y'all next time.
Good night.
Bye.